Hello, welcome back to today's video. Today is May 10th, 2025, and today we're talking about election predictions for 2028. And for 2028, Cory Booker is expected to be the presidential nominee, with Gavin Newsom being the vice president, and JD Vance will likely choose Marco Rubio as his running mate. And this will hurt the Republicans a lot, since Marco Rubio is the current Secretary of State, and he was the senator of Florida from 2009 until the Trump administration in 2025. So here's how the playbook is going to roll out, since Cory Booker is going to follow the same playbook as Barack Obama during his presidency. I think that Nevada and Arizona probably going to be flipped blue next election. I think Nevada is going to go to Cory Booker by 0.9 points, maybe even 1.1 points at the most. Arizona is very competitive and is very swing state. So I think that since Donald Trump is losing his approvals, except for MAGA people, then I think that Arizona is probably going to be for Cory Booker by 0.2 points, maybe. And for Florida's very pro-Republican because of Ron DeSantis. Now that Ron DeSantis is termed out, if we elect a Democrat in Florida, then I think that Cory Booker is going to win Florida by a lot. Back to the state of Texas. The state of Texas is very Republican and very MAGA. And so for 2028, I think that Donald Trump will be disapproved of by many. And I think that it's going to shift slowly to the left a little bit, but not enough to get Cory Booker the win. So I think that JD Vance and Marco Rubio will win Texas by 2.5, maybe 3 points compared to what it was in 2024. Now back to Georgia. Georgia was very competitive in 2024. It won by Biden in 2020, and it won by Trump in 2016. So I think that because of Donald Trump's disapproval ratings going higher and higher, and Donald Trump making the economy bad right now, I think that since there is a lot of complaints during the Trump administration, and in 2028, Donald Trump is not going to be liked that much anymore than he was in 2024 during the 2024 election, I think that Georgia will be going likely Democrat for Cory Booker by about 5, maybe 6 points. And next step is North Carolina. Now, North Carolina is very competitive. It won by Trump in 2024. And now it's going to be shifting over to the left by 2028 unless Donald Trump somehow gets approved by many, like 2028, which I doubt that's going to happen. I think that in 2028 it's going to shift slowly to the left if Donald Trump doesn't do what he's supposed to do. I don't think that North Carolina is going to go to Cory Booker because North Carolina is still going to be a Republican state. Even though it won by Obama in 2008, I think that North Carolina will be tilt Republican. JD Vance will still win it by not a lot, probably 0.1, maybe 0.2%. According to the polls. Now, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, these states, like the Midwest states right here, I'm not so sure about, since they won for Trump in 2024. I think that Pennsylvania shifted slowly to the right in 2024. And And the Senate election is coming up, and I think that it's going to go to Democrats for the Senate for Pennsylvania. I think that Cory Booker will flip it back to the Democratic by a likely margin with 5.5%, maybe even 6% at most. Back to Michigan. Michigan has been very competitive in these last elections, with Barack Obama winning it in both 2008 and 2012. I think that Michigan will probably be flipped back to blue, maybe by 3 points, maybe 2 at least, maybe. The most I can see Michigan winning by is 3.5. Now to Wisconsin. Wisconsin is very competitive. I think that if Marco Rubio is the running mate, I think people would hate Marco Rubio in Wisconsin so much that Cory Booker would most likely get it safe as a Democratic state, winning by about 10 points, maybe 12 points. But I'm going to keep it as safe because Marco Rubio is hated in Wisconsin. And JD Vance, I think that is not a good sign for JD Vance. Okay, for Ohio, I think that this cycle for 2028, I think it's going to shift slowly toward the left. But I think it's going to be enough for Ohio to be flipped to Cory Booker. And since Ohio is a Republican state, and it's never won any Democratic win since 1989, I think it's probably going to be flipped Ohio blue for Cory Booker, maybe by 0.1 points, maybe 0.2 points at least. But Ohio is going to be competitive this cycle. And I think Virginia, since it has won for Kamala Harris this last election, I think that it's going to be shifting more toward the right because Virginia is home to more MAGA people every day. So I think that Virginia will have a less advantage of winning for Cory Booker, but he'll still get it by 2 points. Now on to Tennessee. Now Tennessee is very Republican and very MAGA, and by 2028, I think that Tennessee would probably have a more advantage by Cory Booker than it would with JD Vance if he chooses Marco Rubio as his running mate. But I think JD Vance is still going to get Tennessee by about 1.8 points, maybe. And the last state to do is Iowa. Now, Iowa is a Republican state as well, and I don't know what's going to happen since Donald Trump is being disapproved by many Americans, with the exceptions of MAGA patriots in Texas and Arizona, maybe. I think that since Iowa is going to be very competitive this election, I think that it's going to go for Cory Booker by 0.2 points. And that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. See you soon.